The Midnight Water. My name is Christabel, and this is the story of how I came face to face with the midnight water. I've always been called brave, though sometimes I wonder if bravery is just foolishness with a dash of stubbornness. It started on a night when the moon hid behind thick dark clouds, and the village lay silent under a heavy shroud of mist. I had heard the whispers about the midnight water all my life. The stories warned us never to approach the old well in the forest after midnight. They said a dark spirit lived in its depths, one that called out to the lonely, the curious, and the foolish. But that night, something was different. The voice came to me, not in whispers like the tales warned, but as a soft, melodic song. It was faint at first, like a breeze tickling the edges of my hearing. But as the clock struck 12, the song grew louder, a haunting melody that seemed to echo in my chest. I sat upright in bed, my heart pounding. My mother always said curiosity would get me into trouble, and yet I couldn't help myself. Grabbing my lantern, I slipped out of the house. The night air was cold, and the mist swirled around me like ghostly fingers. The forest seemed alive. Shadows danced between the trees, and the song grew clearer with every step. It wasn't just a melody anymore. It was a voice, soft and sweet, calling my name. Christabel. Come closer. You're not afraid, are you? My legs trembled, but I kept walking. The well loomed ahead, its old stones slick with moss. It looked harmless, yet the air around it was heavy, as if the ground itself held its breath. Who's there? I called, my voice steadier than I felt. The song stopped, and for a moment there was silence. Then a faint ripple appeared in the black water, followed by a whisper. You're brave, little one. But bravery can be your downfall. I stepped closer, peering into the well. The water was impossibly dark, reflecting no light from my lantern. Suddenly, a pale hand shot out of the depths, clawing at the edge of the well. I stumbled back, but the hand didn't follow. Instead, a face emerged. It was a woman, or at least it looked like one. Her skin was translucent, her eyes empty pits, and her hair floated around her like a dark halo. "Why do you disturb my waters?" she hissed. "I heard your song," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "Why are you calling me?" The spirit tilted her head, her hollow eyes boring into mine. "Because you're different. Brave, yes, but also curious. You've come to see the truth of the midnight water, haven't you?" I nodded, though my hands shook. She smiled, and it was the most terrifying thing I'd ever seen. "Then look." Before I could react, her hand shot out and grabbed my wrist. The world spun, and suddenly I was underwater. The cold was unbearable, seeping into my bones, and shadows swirled around me. I saw faces, dozens of them, children, women, and men, all pale and lifeless, their mouths open in silent screams. The spirit's voice echoed in my mind. This is where the curious come. This is where they stay. "No!" I screamed, kicking against the water. I wouldn't be another face in the darkness. With all my strength, I yanked my hand free and shot upward. My head broke the surface and I gasped for air. I was back by the well, my lantern flickering beside me. The spirit was gone, but her voice lingered. "You escaped, Christabel, but not everyone is so lucky. Beware the midnight water, for it is always waiting." I stumbled back home, soaked and shivering. To this day, I hear the song sometimes, faint and haunting. But I never go back to the forest. Some things are better left unexplored. I may be brave, but I'm not foolish enough to tempt the midnight water twice.